Today I'll read the book Count on Pablo. Pablo is excited about helping his grandmas selling vegetables at the farmer's market, but no one comes to buy. Oh dear. It was market day. For the first time, Pablo was going to help his abuela, his grandmother, with the market stand. He could hardly wait. Is it time to go? Pablo called. Not yet, said Abuela. We can't go until we pick something to sell. Of course. Can you think going to the market to sell something but without anything to sell? Let's pick fast, said Pablo. Okay, Pablo. Abuela laughed. You can pick the lines. Pablo scurried up the lime tree. How many should I pick? About 20, said Abuela. Nice big ones. As Pablo twisted the lines off the tree, he counted in a loud voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good counting, Abuela called. Now can we go? Pablo asked. With only limes to sell, said Abuela. She pointed at a bucket. First, we have to wash these onions and tie them in pairs, like this. Abuela made a knot with the tops of 2 onions. Pablo washed and tied the onions quickly. He got all wet, but he didn't mind. Could you count the onions? Abuela asked. I'll count them by 2s. That's a fast way to count, said Pablo. Listen, Abuela. Abuela, listen. Pablo counted. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Good counting, said Abuela. Now can we go? Asked Pablo. Not yet, said Abuela. I need you to wash these peppers. Put 5 in each plastic bag. Then tell me how many peppers we have. I'll hurry, Abuela, said Pablo. He washed the peppers very quickly and got even wetter. But that was okay with Pablo. I'll count the peppers by 5, said Pablo. That's a faster way to count. It's easy because each plastic bag has 5 peppers. And he counted by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 60, 65, 50, 55, 60, 60, 63, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 40, wait, 90, 95, 100. Good counting, Abuela called. Now are we ready? Pablo asked. Then he saw that Abuela had 5 buckets of tomatoes. Oh no, cried Pablo. We'll never get to the market. It's our last job. We just have to wash the tomatoes and put 10 in each box. Before long, Pablo had the tomatoes clean and shiny, but he was a muddy mess. I'll count the tomatoes by 10s. That's a very fast way to count. Listen, Abuela, said Pablo. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, and 200. Good counting, said Abuela. I almost forgot the cilantro, Abuela said. She took a little bunch of herbs into each box of tomatoes. Isn't that pretty, Pablo? Very pretty, said Pablo. But can we please go to the market now? Abuela shook her head. One more thing needs to wash. Pablo knew she meant him. Already hurry, he said. In no time he was all cleaned up, and they were on their way. Finally, said Pablo. The market was crowded and noisy. Everywhere Pablo looked, he saw people selling the most wonderful things. There's even a band playing music. There's so many stands here today, Abuela said. I'll make your stand look the best, said Pablo. Tell me again how many we have of everything, said Abuela. You count and I'll check. So after Pablo set up the stand, he counts by tens, by five, by two, and by ones. You're a good helper and a very good counter, said Abuela. Abuela and Pablo waited for shoppers to come. Many people were at the market, but nobody stopped at Abuela's stand. Nobody at all. Pablo began to worry. What if Abuela didn't sell anything? Hours went by. Still, they had not sold a thing. Pablo was getting hungry. May I buy a bag of tortilla chips from Senor Gracia? He asked. Yes, said Abuela. I'm a little hungry too. Pablo bought a big bag of chips. As he walked back munching, he thought, I wish I had some. Suddenly, he had a great idea. Abuela! He shouted. What is it? Asked Abuela. We could make salsa to go with these chips, said Pablo. Everything we need is right here. 1 lime, 2 onions, 5 peppers, 10 tomatoes, and a little bunch of cilantro. Making salsa is a wonderful idea, Abuela said. Go buy a pretty bowl from Senora Martinez. I'll borrow 2 knives and a spoon from Senora Gracia. The minute Pablo returned, he began to chop, 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 chop. Bits of tomato and pepper and onion flew everywhere. Slow down, Pablo, said Abuela. You're chopping too fast. Abuela squeezed the lime juice into the bowl. Then Pablo mixed their bright colors together. Let's taste it, said Pablo. Abuela scooped up some salsa with a tortilla chip and popped it into her mouth. Delicious, she said. Pablo tasted salsa too. It was delicious. Now we'll see what happens when other people taste our salsa, he said. Pablo stood right next to the beautiful bowl of salsa and the big bag of chips. Taste our delicious salsa, he called. Soon people were crowding around. They tasted the salsa. Delicious, they said. How do you make this salsa? Pablo told them, you need 10 tomatoes, 5 peppers, 2 onions, 1 lime, and a little bunch of cilantro, said Abuela. Then that's what I want, said a man. I do, too, said a dozen voices. it was very busy. Then it was very quiet. Abuela's stand was empty. Abuela, said Pablo, we sold everything. 20 limes, 40 onions, 100 peppers, 200 tomatoes, and 20 little bunches of cilantro. I've never had such a busy day, said Abuela. Now, on market day, shoppers hurry to Abuela's stand. There they buy everything they need to make Pablo's salsa. Delicious. And some stands has changed to the bowls stand is bowls for Pablo's salsa stand. And chip stand will change to chips for Pablo's salsa stand. Finish book. Completed. Let's play quiz game. What is the first item that Pablo has to pick from a tree? Limes, not lemons or tomatoes. Tomatoes are already put in plastic buckets. Green flag. How many limes did Pablo pick? 10, so little. 50, too much. 100, too much more. 20, just the right amount. A blue flag. What did Pablo count the peppers? How? Oh. By fives. By ones is for the limes. By two is for the onion because they're tying together for pair. Submit. Let's go. Yay, my favorite flag! I love it. How many tomatoes did Pablo and Abuela put in each box? 10, of course. What is the last item Abuela added to the truck before heading to the market? Cilantro or herbs? I don't know, but they're cilantro, of course. Purple flag! I love it! What was the problem of the story? No, they didn't wash the vegetable good enough, but the vegetables are clean and shiny. They ran out of vegetables to sell at the market. No, they have so much to sell. They didn't have enough. But these two are identical. But the problem is no one stopped and buy anything from Abuela's stand. Bit sad. But then everybody bought everything. What idea of Pablo solved their problem at the market? But Senor Gracia? No. He said they should make salsa with their vegetables. Yes, of course, for selling. Who caused Abuela to sell out her entire stand at the market? The customers, of course. Pablo just helped. He is a helper, but a good helper and counter. How many vegetables in all did Pablo and Abuela sell off? It must be more than 200. Let's think. Let's think of 100 peppers plus 200 tomatoes equal 300. Let's think. And 40 think. I know. 20 lines and 40. Guess what I mean? 40. Onions! They add all up into this number. 360. Is there any problems here? What do customers return to Abuela stand for? Abuela salsa. Or Pablo's salsa? Pablo's, of course.